But you know, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times. If one only remembers to turn on the light.
It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends.
The ones that love us never really leave us.
Working hard is important, but there's something that matters: believing in yourself. If they can do it, why not us?
Hey everyone, welcome to Hogwarts, a podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Hogwarts, a podcast. We are covering Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Act 3, Scenes 18 through 21, otherwise known as the end of Act 3. Elizabeth is with us.
Hi everyone.
And first off, this episode is dropping on January 3rd, so we would like to wish everyone a happy new year in 2026.
Woo!
We've been doing this a while, and we've made it to 2026.
When did we start again?
2021.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
It was a long time ago. So thank you all for sticking with us. We hope you have had, or are still having, a wonderful holiday season. And we hope we can kick off your 2026 with an interesting conversation about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
We do have a few comments from some listeners that we wanted to get to before we get into things. The first comment comes from Yuri, who left a comment on Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 4, Number 12, Grimmauld Place. Good chapter. That was an interesting chapter.
Good book. It's our favorite.
Also valid. Also true. Yuri says, I know I am years later, but another point with Harry, Ron, and Hermione's argument is that he's literally a Horcrux, and Voldemort has returned and is in his mind. They're in each other's mind, meaning Harry's anger is partially Voldemort's anger. No one is saying what he did is okay, but it's very understandable and partially excusable.
That is a really, really good point. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's certainly a point to be made that Harry, through much of these books, is not entirely himself all of the time.
Yeah.
Ironically, until we maybe get into what we're talking about now, Cursed Child.
But yeah, I like thinking about that context, though, because they're right that during this point in time, Voldemort would be discovering what has happened to all his Death Eaters. How have they, betrayed him in the past however many years, and what work still needs to be done in order to take down Harry. So yeah, his anger would be thriving.
That's true, yeah.
Thank you for that comment, because that is I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's a good comment. Thank you, Yuri, for that. The next comment I want to get to is actually from Daniel Gomez on Twitter. This comment comes in from Twitter.
Hey!
So thank you, Daniel, for leaving that comment. Daniel says, divination isn't for everyone. Stand your ground, Dan. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. That being said, though, he does continue with, I'll disagree with you later. Not sure what that means. You've certainly piqued my interest. I look forward to hearing the disagreement.
Yeah.
But Daniel posts a whole actual larger comment, because, you know, Twitter and some social medias have that character limit. Mm-hmm. So he posts a big comment right below that. So bear with me as I read Daniel's thoughts here. He says, digging up the past. Started listening from the beginning and just finished Prisoner of Azkaban. I want to start with when I first read the book in 2001. I also thought Trelawney was a fraud. But now after finishing the series, I realize she's not a fraud. I have to agree with Dan. I think Trelawney can see, capital S, but is unfortunately misreading the signs. For example, I don't believe she saw the Grim in the cup. She saw a dog-like figure and immediately went for the attention-grabbing prediction. I think the dog-like figure she saw was Sirius, or even Lupin. In Half-Blood Prince, when she's reading tarot cards, she saw signs. Again, capital S. Nicely done, Daniel. Saw signs, but doubted herself, saying That can't be right. Thank you, Daniel, again, for the comment. I think she's obviously divining the future. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of, are you interpreting that divination correctly or not, which is the argument to be said about any seer or any person divining the future, is you might be able to hit the right prediction or the right prophecy or the right whatever you want to call it. It's whether you can interpret that correctly.
Yeah. And
I don't think that's a uniquely Trelawney issue.
No, and to clarify my comments from however many years ago that was, like, I agree. I do think the series indicates that she can see, and you're right, she doesn't recognize that she has the ability in the way that she does. I liked Daniel's comment about attention grabbing, because I do think that is where I disagree with you, Dan, with the idea that as a teacher, she spends so much time doing that attention grabbing, and I think it detracts from her actual ability. And I think that's why so often the students just treat her like a joke. Whereas, sure, all the other professors, they do have those attention grabbing lessons to set the school year and to set what their subjects are. I just think most professors kind of back away from that once they get their room established, and I think Trelawney always flounders with trying to get the respect from the students, and I do think it's that attention grabbing that's the flaw for it. Yeah.
I just wish our Harry Potter fandom would look a little bit more kindly on Trelawney and not just completely dismiss her as some lunatic fraud. That's really all I was trying to get across. But thank you, Daniel, for the comment. Much appreciated. And thank you for re-listening. I know a lot of you have commented throughout the years now that we've been doing this that you have gone back and re-listened.
And that was with like our Spotify recap too, was talking about how often people marathon our show, which is very cool.
It's much appreciated, and we really love all that support from everybody. Like Katie, who left a comment on Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 2, Dobby's Warning. Katie says, I love this podcast so much.
Oh.
I'm really enjoying hearing fellow Potterheads discussing the series I hold so dear.
Oh, yay. I'm glad there's still people out there discovering us.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Thank you very much, Katie. Hopefully, when you get to this point in the podcast, however long that may take you, we appreciate you. And thank you for listening. Thank you for leaving comments, hopefully more as you progress through. So again, we are very, very thankful to everybody who tunes in, listens, comments, and has a discussion with us. Because I think that's one of our favorite things, is just having a discussion with all of you through the comments.
Especially as grown millennials now. It was so important to our childhood and our development. Now it's cool to hear other people of varying ages talk to us about it.
If you want to join the conversation and get your thoughts on the podcast and have us respond to your thoughts, you can drop a comment either on Spotify, where you're listening to this, or you could visit one of our social media accounts like Twitter, like Instagram, like Blue Sky. You could leave a comment on our YouTube page. You could find all of those at Hogwarts a Pod. And you can also participate in our polls, which is another way to engage with us and let us know what your thoughts are. And all that is finding us on Spotify, scrolling down, and clicking whatever option you want to click.
And if you're on Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. Always helps.
That helps just spread the podcast, get us higher up on those wonderful social media algorithms that everybody talks about.
That and Google's algorithm.
And Google's algorithm, yes. Math. But thank you. Now we'll get to what everybody's actually waiting for, which is Act 3, Scene 18, St. Oswald's home for old witches and wizards, specifically Amos's room.
Yeah.
So, Harry and Draco are the ones to enter Amos's room. Harry, with his wand outstretched, which is a little threatening to enter a room at a retirement home, I feel like.
Especially as the head of the department.
Yeah, I mean, I get you want to keep this isolated. Mm-hmm. But Hermione literally also just mentioned the idea of bringing Aurors into this. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy busting into an old folks' home with an army of oars behind them. The Daily Prophet should run wild with this. Can you imagine Rita Skeeter? Could you imagine?
She'd buzz in there so quickly.
But yeah, Rita would have a field day with Harry and Draco busting into a retirement home. But here we are. Amos, however, welcomes them. Oh, I have Harry and Draco here? How blessed am I to have you two visit me?
I love him saying how blessed am I, because I totally hear in that southern sense of like, oh, bless your heart. like bless you for visiting me today.
Harry and Draco, not so pleasant. They immediately accuse Amos of trying to use their sons. Amos is quite confused and flips it on Harry. He was like, what are you talking about? You used my son. That's why I was on you in the first place. Harry threatens to send Amos to Azkaban. He's like, Amos, you aren't too old to still go to Azkaban. Which, that's a threat.
Yeah.
Harry threatens sending Amos to Azkaban and mentions his niece is at the heart of the issue. Amos is confused and says, I'm sorry, you said my niece? And Harry and Draco are like, you've got to be kidding me. Your nurse is documented as, like, being here. Your niece is your nurse. She's worked here. Like, people have seen her. Mm-hmm. Like, she's a person. And Amos is like, no. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't have a niece. I don't have brothers and sisters. My wife doesn't have brothers or sisters. Literally, there's no way I can have what everybody conventionally refers to as a niece. So what are you even talking about? And then Draco literally says out loud, who is this person?
Yeah, we got to find this Delphi, like, now.
Yeah.
I find it interesting, whatever spell clearly Delphi put on Amos, it's interesting that it has worn off so quickly. And I don't know if that's an active choice on Delphi's part, or if, because I would imagine she would want him to still be under the impression that she's her niece, knowing that Harry and Draco would come interrogate him at some point. But I wonder if maybe the magic has weaned off just because her focus is elsewhere. Either way, it's interesting how long a spell can last.
Yeah, because she does speak of how difficult it was to specifically control Amos. Mm-hmm. My question on this scene is more about Harry. And we have seen now a decent size portion of a golden duo, if you will, run Ministry of Magic. Mm-hmm. In the two most powerful positions, Minister for Magic and Head of Magical Law Enforcement. How do we feel about how they've been running the Ministry of Magic? I'm just saying, if we were to completely take out of the equation how familiar we are with Harry and Hermione, and we know their intent is good, but if we were just some objective, normal person in the wizarding world, would you look upon them with the, I know they're heroes, but are they running our government effectively? Are they doing a good job?
It would seem like a lot of tax dollars going to just dealing with their children having issues.
Isn't
like,
it?
Oh, the Potter child is acting out again. There goes more of my tax dollars. Like,
all I'm saying is they were so critical of the Ministry of Magic, whether they were correct or incorrect to do so. They were probably a little bit of both, depending on the situation. Mm-hmm. But then now they are in those positions of power. Are they using those positions as effectively as they could?
I wonder how much of this is actually getting out to the public.
There's that too. Yeah. But then you're in the same boat of being suspicious of your government.
Yeah.
Where it's like, did we know everything Fudge was doing? Did we know everything Scrimgeour was doing? Do we know everything Hermione's doing? Like, I don't know if the normal person would approve of a lot of this. And it's our heroes, and it's people we've loved to read about. So we're giving them the benefit of the doubt because we know what their intention probably is.
Right, and we know what could come about if they fail.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's interesting It's either one way or the other. You're either a big supporter of it or you hate it. I feel like there's not a whole lot of in between, and there probably should be.
And then there's a lot of gray area too, because you're like, okay, as leaders, we want to be transparent with our people, but trying to explain what we know, how we know it, when we learned that information, and it's all regarding something that hasn't happened yet.
Could you imagine, like, the head of a law enforcement agency barging into, like, a retirement home?
I mean...
That's insane! You would look at them like they were literally insane.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some kind of logic behind it. On the one hand, you want people to understand the situation because then they can be behind your actions, but at the same time, it's like there's a limit of what you should know, and we can't tell you everything. And also, it takes a long time to get everybody on the same page about what's going on, so it's easier to just act. And I can see why that would be what Harry and Draco would go towards, of let's just do this and get it settled, and then don't ask for permission first, just do it, and then ask for forgiveness later.
All I'm saying is, if you looked at your own government officials, wherever you're from, and they raided a retirement home for the elderly, you would look at them funny. If Harry and Hermione were students at Hogwarts, and if they had Fudge or Rufus bust in to St. Oswald's home for old witches and wizards, I'm sure they would have probably an issue or two with it.
That, or I'd be thinking like, dang, which witch or wizard was able to get away with whatever for so long?
I just wonder if Harry took a step back at some point and was like, had to pinch himself and had that thought process of, am I really doing this right now? Like, I get I have to, but am I really doing this right now?
I think he's too emotionally charged right now to pinch himself.
Probably. Anyway, we'll move on to Act 3, Scene 19, and we are back at Hogwarts on the Quidditch pitch. And Delphi is enjoying her new identity as the Augury, while Scorpius realizes that they are currently at the location of the third Triwizard Tournament task.
Yeah, I like how Albus asks why we're on the Quidditch pitch, and Scorpius is smart enough to realize, hey,
this is where it happened.
Third task, yeah. Like Albus, why are you still 2 steps behind what's going on here? Are you still fangirling over, like, Delphi's tattoo? Is that why we're a little behind?
I think Albus is suffering from still a little bit of schoolboy crush on Delphi.
And shock.
Yeah. And he's now, I think, struggling with the balance of, wait, am I attracted to this person? Am I afraid of this person? Welcome to every man's struggle. It's what we all go through.
We're not that scary.
I know. I just couldn't resist the joke. No, I think that's what Albus is really going through here, is that struggle of like, wait, I was really attracted to you, I trusted you, and now you're trying to bring back the worst dark wizard probably ever? What?
Yeah, Scorpius said you want to bring back hell. I'm like, that's what it was. That's what it would be.
Delphi disputes the assertion of hell, and Delphi says she wants to resurrect pure, strong magic, the dark. They capitalize the word dark. It's dark
it's a
with
proper
a capital
noun.
D, yeah. And she continues with wanting to resurrect the one true ruler of the wizarding world. And Albus, finally catching up here a little bit, says, well, we won't help you. Like, we're gonna do everything we can to stop you, even if we don't have wands. And Delphi's like, what? I'm sorry, what? Stop? You're gonna stop?
Good luck.
I don't want you to stop Cedric from winning the third task. I want complete, utter humiliation. I want Cedric flying out of this maze naked on a broom made of purple feather dusters.
That's quite the visual.
Yeah, that's an image.
I like the fact that they're now trying the third task, because she said the first 2 tasks were so clogged up with magic that it would be a risk to go back and try those again. even though they saw success with changing the second one, she just said the risk would be too great to be either revealed or they'd get distracted by something, which shows she clearly does understand time travel to a degree better than the boys, I think.
Well, she is older, but it also lets us into not just the Time Turner and her concept of time travel, but it's also her concept of just magic in general. Mm-hmm. It almost has an air of Dumbledore about her, because she references there's too much magic in that area, and Dumbledore has that quote about magic leaves traces.
Oh, yeah.
Whether or not you can see the magic specifically doesn't mean there's not magic there.
Yeah, I wonder how much she's thinking about Dumbledore as a threat to whatever it is she's trying to do.
She doesn't want to go to the same place too many times, because one of those times Dumbledore is in and around these tasks.
Yeah, and I mean she could attract his attention by having too much magic that doesn't belong. But I do wonder, because she seems so focused on making this come true. And I wonder how much she's considering Dumbledore's threat whenever she's making her decisions.
I would also imagine that Cedric is a true 7th year student. Like, he's about to graduate with as many honors as you could possibly have coming out of Hogwarts.
Yeah, he's like an AP student.
Yes. Obviously, he's the true Triwizard champion. Mm-hmm. So he's the best Hogwarts literally has to offer for this. Mm-hmm. Albus knows him as a student. Like, Albus knows he's competent. He knows he's smart. He knows he's clever. Like, if you're screwing up Cedric too much too often, Albus is going to be like, this isn't him. Something else has got to be going on here. And then he's paying more attention.
Albus being Dumbledore?
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, he's paying more attention to everything else going around, and he doesn't miss traces of magic just being left around.
Yeah.
So I think she's smart in being like, I think we've dipped our foot into that water too many times. Let's try something different. Let's try the next step. So it's an interesting little thing. It shows you the competence that Delphi might actually possess. Mm-hmm. She goes on to mention the potential of a prophecy at play here. And Scorpius asks about the prophecy. He's like, what are you talking about? What prophecy are you even referring to? Albus skips over that part and and is still stuck on, and, rightly so, the idea that, well, if you need our help, I am not helping you. You'll have to literally Imperious curse us to have us do what you need us to do. And Delphi continues on, saying that, well, the prophecy doesn't really allow for that, because if I Imperious you, that doesn't fulfill the prophecy. You need to do it of your own accord.
Which is an odd stipulation, that they can't be enchanted for this to work. I don't know why that would be.
We don't know much about the prophecy at this point, number one. Number two, we don't know her knowledge level of the prophecy. Mm-hmm. Was she the one the prophecy was made to? Was she the one that made said prophecy? Was someone explaining it to her? Like, we have no real context for this.
Right. Except
for literally what she's telling us in the moment. So, yeah,
But if we think about prophecies in general, like, as we saw in, like, the whole series, let's be real, like, so many, well, especially the third book with the time travel, how such a tiny little action can cause ripples. And one of those actions could be enchanting someone to do something that might not even be related to trying to make the prophecy work. So I think she's taking a very maybe cautious approach to making this prophecy come true. Maybe it would feel like cheating it and therefore making it fail if enchantment is involved. I don't know. It's just an interesting take.
Well, regardless, she does not want either Albus or Scorpius screwing this up for her. She turns her wand onto Scorpius. Albus yells in protest, which confirms Delphi's assumptions that Albus might be willing to suffer, but Albus doesn't want Scorpius to suffer. So that's how she's kind of playing this. she ends up using Crucio on Scorpius. And while doing so, she taunts Albus as a wizard-wide disappointment, a sore on his family's name, a spare.
And she says, Scorpius is your only friend. Like, dang, she just hit all the nerves.
Yeah, she hit on a couple of very sensitive topics for Albus.
Very touchy subject.
She knows how to manipulate a little bit. And then she uses Crucio again after taunting. Now, unfortunately, Craig Bowker Jr., a.k.a. this generation's Percy,
last scene telling Harry to get out of the Slytherin common room.
correct, he enters the scene. And he initially addresses the kids saying, Albus, Scorpius, like, everybody's looking for you. Where have you been? And Delphi turns around after Albus is like, you need to leave.
Go get help.
Go away. Anywhere but here. Delphi immediately turns around and hits Craig with the killing curse.
Yeah, she says, we're not playing any childish games here. You're useful to me. Your friends are not. I think it's interesting. She just said that you only have one friend. But now your other friends who just came and wandered in on the scene on accident, they're gone. What a rough ending for
Well,
Craig
she's fulfilling
Bowker
her own
Jr.
prophecy there. You only have the one friend. Another friend comes in. Well, gotta kill him.
You're only allowed one friend.
Pretty much. Wait, you're showing concern for these two kids? Gotta go. No. Delphi continues by taunting Albus with his true weakness, his father's weakness, friendship. First of all, before we even get into this prophecy, because she goes on to actually state what the prophecy is, before we get into this idea, can we just talk about the idea that the weakness is friendship? Because if I'm not mistaken, I know we're removed now from the 7th book. If I'm not mistaken, literally the way he beat Voldy, the only literal way he was able to defeat the Dark Lord in a duel was because he died for who? His friends.
And he only succeeded because he had help from his friends.
Like, she clearly missed a chapter in this history.
I don't know if she missed it. I think she's just misinterpreting it. She is a loner, like Voldemort was a loner. And I think she also looks at emotions as a weakness. So having love for your friends is a weakness. But yeah, it's missing that crucial lesson that Dumbledore tried to impress upon everybody, that love is important and you should have it for people you care about.
Or at the very least, Voldy, and apparently now Delphi, at the very least, don't ignore it.
Yeah.
At least acknowledge and be aware that it does exist.
Yeah,
as
you
a
can't
form of magic.
underestimate it.
But anyway, Delphi does state what the prophecy is. The prophecy states, when spares are spared, when time is turned, when unseen children murder their fathers, then will the Dark Lord return. And they go through this, and obviously Cedric is the spare. So you're trying to spare the spare and not have him die. And Albus is the unseen child killing his father by rewriting time. So that's when time is turned, unseen children murder their fathers, thus bringing back the Dark Lord.
I wonder how long it took for her to put together that the spare was supposed to be Cedric. Yes, Harry overheard Voldemort say, kill the spare, but I wonder how widespread that was.
I think it's just the optics of the situation. I think people refer to Cedric as the spare just because of Voldy's clearly very focused on Harry. Cedric wasn't supposed to be there. By definition, that makes him a spare.
I don't think the general public would use the word spare. I think they would just be like the victim or the extra. I think spare is such a specific word that it, like, when it's used, it invokes Voldemort's speech pattern.
And dismissiveness.
And dismissiveness. So I don't think the general public would be as dismissive of Cedric's death. Like, I think they would be more, that unfortunate child, that victim, that tragedy. So I'm just really curious where Delphi put together the idea that the spare is supposed to be in reference to Cedric. So then to, do the research on the Diggories and come up with this idea of I'm his niece and go about it that way. Whatever the process was, like, clearly it was the right route to make this prophecy start to come true. But I'm just really curious of what set off that thought for her.
Also, I guess, to your point of how does anyone know it is a spare? If it's technically a prophecy, you don't have to know the details. You're divining it from another level of source, right?
Right.
So maybe whatever that, I'm using the word heavenly or godly or literally divine source is giving whoever makes this prophecy that info is just like the spare.
Yeah.
And that's where the terminology comes from.
Which also brings up a point then of how much of a prophecy do you have to actively make happen in order for the prophecy to come true? Because, it feels like with Trelawney's two major prophecies, at least like for the first one, with Sirius's escape and Pettigrew's rise, like Harry just existed and did things and reacted to things. He didn't actively try to make the prophecy come true, and yet all of his actions made it come true. The only activeness I would argue he does for the first prophecy about him and Voldemort would be he's actively trying to take down the Horcruxes so that he can be the one that survives and the other, dies. Whereas this, she seems like she is on a mission and is going to do as much as possible to make it come true. And with such an active role in fate or the future or whatever, I wonder how much she is actually hurting the prophecy and making it harder to create.
Now, I can understand that. Like, at some point, if you actively impart yourself on a prophecy, does that help or hurt said prophecy coming true?
Like, I literally think about Macbeth because I just taught it to my seniors this year, but he gets the prophecy about his future from the witches. The first one falls in his lap, so he actively kills to make the third prediction come true, and then he seeks out more predictions, and it leads to his downfall, and you're like, if you didn't do any of that, you would have been just fine and happy and alive. So,
well, spoilers for Macbeth.
Shakespeare. Sorry to those of you who are waiting to read it. Get on it. It's a good play.
It also could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, like, literally just knowing about the prophecy, like, just the knowledge of it kicks it into gear and thus completes it.
Yeah, because it's always like, do you act to make that knowledge come true, or do you just wait, assuming that it's going to happen?
But then it doesn't matter what you do because the prophecy is kind of basing it on whatever you do is the answer.
Yeah, it's a lot of fate versus free will.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting conversation that we'll continue to talk about in part 2 of this episode as we continue down this path. Obviously, to end the scene, the time turner does start ticking and rotating. So it kind of gives you that ominous, like, we're about to enter something new, something dangerous.
That stage effect with, like, that ripple of the lights, which I still love. I thought that was so cool.
Some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
Because it freaks some people out with, like, vertigo or all that kind of stuff. But it is a cool effect when it's on stage. But yeah, the time turner starts ticking, and we will take a little break and get back to the Triwizard Tournament beginning in part 2. We'll be right back. Before we get to our break sound, I'd like to acknowledge our friend Andy, who helps us produce our intros and our break sounds. If you want to hear more of Andy's work and like Formula One racing, check out the Outlap F1 podcast. It's your one-stop shop for Formula One news, insights, race previews, and reviews. You can find them wherever you listen to podcasts, and they even have a YouTube page. So check out Andy, Cody, John, James, and Deanna, and join them on the Outlap. All right, so we are back with part 2 of this episode, and we kick it off with Act 3, Scene 20. We are back at the Triwizard Tournament at the Maze in 1995. Delphi is dragging Albus and Scorpius through constantly moving hedges. Ludo Bagman is hyping up the crowd as usual and is noting that there are big cheers from all 3 schools this time. So the French have finally really gotten into this event.
I still think it's a weird joke, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what that's saying about the French, but we do have people listening from France. Are you offended by this? I'm not really sure. Delphi continues her search for Cedric, and it's described as the hedge nearly dissecting the kids. It's an interesting description of the maze, because when we got to the maze the first time, we got this like eerie presence within the maze, and we got obviously a lot of the obstacles within the maze,
And like the engulfing darkness of it.
we knew the maze was moving and was alive to some degree. Mm-hmm. But this makes it seem like the maze is actively out to kill you in its own right.
I could get behind this if the maze, being an enchantment, knows that there are intruders who should not be here. Like, this is a maze designed for the champions, and there are people here who do not belong, so we're going to attack them.
Oh, so you think it's a security mechanism built into the maze?
I think so.
So you don't think it's actively trying to kill the combatants, at least as aggressively as it's trying to kill possible intruders?
I could see this as a security thing, is like, you don't belong here. We're going to entrap you amongst our branches until, like, an adult can come by, maybe. So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we know Barty Crouch Jr. was obviously trying to rig it so Harry was the one with the cup. So was it Barty Crouch Jr. placing potential security
Maybe, like,
enchantments?
he thinks these people are here to stop him.
Or was it Dumbledore being like, hey, we should put some extra spells to make sure that no one else is messing with the final result?
I could see either. Or both.
Or both.
Yeah.
Well, the 2 kids end up being able to talk to each other as Delphi's moving quite quickly up ahead. She's dragging them bound, by the way. Like, she is pulling them along.
I remember they don't have wands right now. Those
And they
got
don't
snapped.
have wands. So Scorpius says that he is willing to die to prevent the other reality from coming forth again. Albus thinks, maybe there's another way of doing this. The time turner only has like a 5-minute window. What if we just slow her down and just make her life a little bit more annoying until the time runs out, and then we're good, right?
What I really like about that conversation is the conversation as it's happening. Ludo is also giving his, commentary and his 2 cents. And he makes a joke and he makes a comment that I think is very clever, which I don't usually say about Ludo Bagman. But he said only time will tell, will tell us who's going to win, what perils are in the mist, and what heroes will, arise out of this. And it's like, yeah, time will tell. The time turner will tell what perils are in the mist. Voldemort, is potentially coming back in more ways than one, and what heroes will arise. Scorpius and Albus are talking about being willing to die to stop Delphi. Ludo's, do you think he's got a little bit of divination going on here? He doesn't even realize it.
While I love you giving credit to Ludo Bagman, I think what you're doing is not giving credit to the writers.
No, I know. It's for the writers. It's
Because
very
Ludo
clever.
has no clue what's going on.
No, but I appreciate the pun kind of on time.
It's very
time
much
will tell.
the writers of this play that put a little clever touch in there.
And I caught it, and I appreciate it.
Well, there you go. Elizabeth does like some of the writing in this, believe it or not. We have it on a recording. So Delphi ends up noticing that, hey, they are kind of lagging behind a little bit. I'm going to put complete and utter fear into these children. And she,
As one does.
And she begins to rise and fly without the use of a broom. Scorpius tries to talk his way out of this one and goes on this like little rambling monologue for a little bit, just trying to eat as much time as possible. Delphi sees through this and hits him with another Crucio curse.
Yeah, I loved that. Scorpius basically doing what we were just discussing before the break about how if you are trying to actively make a prophecy come true, then are you really doing it right? And she's just like, you know what? You're making me think too much. Shut up, Crucio. Like, okay.
It's just a lot of word salad that he throws at her, and she's like, why am I even listening to this? Scorpius reminds Albus that this might be his test. This is your pass or fail test. Who are you going to be right now? And Albus says that they will each, him and Scorpius, gladly lay down their lives just to stop you. So there's nothing you can really punish us with at this point.
Which she seems very set of like, no, this prophecy, it has to happen. You have to work with me here. Like, it's inevitable. If the prophecy has been made, then the future is set in stone. And clearly no one ever told her about the prophecies in the Department of Mysteries that were like faded and dark and never came true. Not every prophecy has to come true, but she is very set that this is the future and it will happen right now. Voldemort will return.
She is clearly upset at both Scorpius and Albus. So she goes to attempt another Crucio curse. However, to Julie's dismay, a mysterious voice shouts out, Expelliarmus. Delphi then becomes bound by the spell Brachio Bindo, which kind of just wraps her up in these cords. Mm-hmm. And Cedric Diggory is revealed to have disarmed and bound Delphi.
It's the man of the hour.
He says that he heard screaming and had to come. However, this does not mean that you two are my friend either. Are you beasts or obstacles that I also have to defeat? Tell me now, or you'll end up just like this person. They say, no. All you had to do was come save us. All you had to do. Can you just release us and then we're good. Yeah. We're good, bro. We're good.
Freeing us was the task that you had to achieve to move forward.
Cedric thinks on this. It's like, could this be a potential trap? Which right there, you know the difference between Cedric and Harry. Cedric takes a beat and was like, is this a trap? Should I do this? Okay, I will. Harry would just be like, yeah, sure, bro. Yeah, I got you.
Which is interesting, because I would think as a Hufflepuff, maybe you're more inclined to believe in the goodness of people and that they're telling the truth.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean be dumb.
Well, yes, but as we've seen with Gryffindors, they do brave things, but they're not always smart things.
Correct. So he at least thinks it through before eventually using Emancipare to release them from their binds. Cedric asks, okay, I've released you. I've defeated the person binding you. Mm-hmm. Can I move on now? And the boys hear Cedric ask to move on through the maze, and they are heartbroken, as Albus eventually says, yeah, go on and finish the maze.
Yeah, you have to.
Before Cedric gets too far down the path, although he walks confidently down the path, before he gets too far down the path, Albus calls out to Cedric and says, hey, I just want to let you know, your dad loves you very much. And Cedric's like, okay, thanks, and then continues on.
I love little moments like that, because especially in time travel stories, because you know the person receiving the message, it doesn't really mean all that much to them. It's more meant for the person giving the message. Mm-hmm. And Albus, especially knowing everything about what he's gone through and his relationship with Harry and just what Cedric's death meant to Harry, like making the same choice, even more of a choice of sending Cedric to his death, knowing that it has to happen. Like having him hear your dad loves you. It's such a nice comfort. I like it a lot.
Now, because it's me.
Okay.
And I view myself as a champion of Cedric Diggory. How do we feel about Cedric in this scene?
He seems pretty in character with what we saw in the book. Willing to help people and determined to succeed at the task.
I think it's a true testament to Cedric's character that in this, let's be real about it, a complete hellscape of a task where literally danger is around every single corner and everything is out to get you in this thing. To an extent that Cedric is not even fully aware of just yet. He hears screaming and goes towards it. This is also, I guess, me being a champion for the Hufflepuff house in general, because Cedric is
The Hufflepuff.
the Hufflepuff, other than maybe Tonks, but like the Hufflepuff.
And Newt.
And here he is in a dangerous environment, going out of his way to help others in clearly a dangerous situation if they are screaming, not even knowing if that is even real or not, or if he's just walking into a trap.
Right.
He doesn't care. He goes out of his way to do what I think is a truly brave, courageous thing. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm sure he's also probably thinking, let's not, gloss over the fact that, he takes down this older, seemingly more accomplished witch who just was trying to do an unforgivable curse. He's probably sitting there being like, if I let go of these two kids, even if they do turn on me, I'm pretty sure I can take them.
Aww.
I mean,
they don't look like a threat.
I'm just being realistic.
I feel like if he was not so distracted by the intensity of the moment, I wonder if he would have recognized Harry in
Possibly.
Albus.
I mean, obviously the maze distorts a lot and is dark, and it's
and your adrenaline's going and all that,
but I just think it's a really interesting look at Cedric, and I think we've seen a lot of the worst of Cedric in this production, with him changing sides, becoming a Death Eater, killing Neville Longbottom. And here, I think we see some of the best of Cedric stepping up to a dangerous situation and being able to overcome that.
That brings up a good point. We never saw Cedric as a Death Eater. We just heard about him as being a Death Eater. Mm-hmm. This is the only time we get to see Cedric. I feel like that was an active choice so that we, the fans, still maintain him as Cedric the hero, and we never see him as that dark Death Eater who does horrible things towards Muggles or other people. I would enjoy seeing a scene of that, just because I think the contrast would be so dramatic that seeing Cedric end as the hero again, hits home. But I understand why they wouldn't want to show that darkness.
No, that's a good point. I think it is very intentional to only tangentially hear about Cedric's misdeeds as a Death Eater, but only see him being a hero. Mm-hmm. So the boys watch Cedric go off to his destiny and then realize, hey, wait, Delphi is crawling her way towards this time turner.
Okay, I read that stage note and I just bust out laughing. I was like, I can imagine the audience's attention is focused on the Cedric part of the stage, but I can just see somebody just looking over and just seeing her army crawling across and just be like, what is she doing?
See, I don't even see it as army crawling, because
slithering like a snake.
I see it like an inchworm, just inchworming her way over, because her arms are bound, right? So it's just like an inchworm kind of tactic.
I wonder how much of this is in the darkness, because we've talked before how much the play utilizes lighting really effectively. So I don't remember seeing her inching to the side, but maybe I was an audience member distracted by the Cedric conversation. But it was just a funny stage note.
It also, again, illustrates her point earlier of sentimentality will get you killed.
Yeah.
Because, they are having their sentimental moment with Cedric. She is trying to get back to this time turner. that has started to rotate. It is starting to go back to our present time. And the boys rush to grab the time turner as it begins to spin again, and as Delphi has gotten to the time turner herself. And as she holds the time turner, she says that while they have foiled this latest attempt to turn Cedric into this intimidating Death Eater that brings in
darkness to the world,
she'll try something new this time. She'll try something different this time.
She said if okay, Scorpius, you said prophecies can be prevented or broken. Cool. Let's try that, your theory.
She crushes the time turner into what is described as 1,000 pieces. And then Delphi takes off. She flies away. The boys look around and they're like, wait, she just crushed the time turner. Are we stuck somewhere? We can't be back, right? So we're stuck in time.
I mean, they looked at Hogwarts and they're like, Hogwarts still looks the same, but we don't know when we are. Because, I mean, Albus was like, why did we run towards Delphi when she had the time turner? And Scorpius was like, well, because she has the time turner. We have to run with the time turner because that's the only way to get back in time. But now we're sometime, we don't know when, Delphi has flown off and the time turner is dead. They finally destroyed. She did it. So now it's like, well, what do we do? We're stuck. This is bad.
So the smart thing that they do is they run for cover because they know they're not supposed to be in this time. So they run for cover so they're not seen and someone says, I'm sorry, who are you?
Right.
And they try to think of a new game plan. And that's where the scene ends. The next scene is Act 3, Scene 21. We are back at St. Oswald's home for old witches and wizards. We are in Delphi's room. And if Harry and Draco weren't enough barging into a retirement home, you now have Hermione, the Minister for Magic, Ron, and Ginny looking around. And Harry assumes that she has used a Confundus charm on everyone. Granted, probably a pretty powerful one, but a Confundus charm nonetheless. Hermione says, hey, look, I looked around. There's no record of a Delphi Diggory, at all. She's a complete shadow of a human being. They end up looking around this room and figure out that this is a pretty simple room. This is a pretty bare bones, not much there room. So they all go off in different directions and try to look at the walls, look at the bed, look at anything they could possibly do to find something.
It honestly gave me the vibes of escape rooms. I mean, there must be a clue here somewhere. Just look around, mess with stuff.
This would be a pretty frustrating escape room.
Yeah, because there's nothing here.
Yeah. Ginny finally unscrews a chimney from an oil lamp. And immediately, hissing words come sounding out of it. Harry recognizes this as Parseltongue. He's surprised on two fronts. One, that he recognizes it as Parseltongue, and two, that he can understand it because he hasn't understood Parseltongue since Voldy died.
Which is such an interesting thing to me, because while I understand Harry was only able to understand Parseltongue because he had the Horcrux of Voldemort inside him, is Parseltongue a language you can learn, or is it just an innate ability that a person has or doesn't have? Similar to, I suppose, seeing.
It's an animal's language, so I don't think you can really, just go hang around with a bunch of snakes and be like, ooh, that hiss meant this.
Yeah, but at the same time, you would probably argue, trolls are some type of creature, right? And they had their language that you could learn and interpret, and it was mostly grunts, I think. So I don't know. I would assume that even if it was the Horcrux part of Harry that made him able to learn it, I would think that his brain would still be able to have that ability. So it's interesting that he loses it. If it was the innate ability, regardless of if the Horcrux part of him is gone or not, I would think he would still have it. But if it was a language you can learn, I could understand losing it if you didn't actively use it a lot.
I don't think it's a language you can learn. I think it's a magical gift. When you brought up trolls, I still think
They're more humanoid.
they're more humanoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not an intelligent species, but I think they're still considered an intelligent species.
Well, then it makes me wonder how many special, like specialized magical abilities a person could be born with.
I'm sure there are quite a large variety of them based on the witch or wizard.
That'd be a fun thing to look up sometime.
But they all look to Harry and go, well, what does it say? Like, what are these sounds
You're our
saying?
snake translator.
And Harry says, the hissing noises say, welcome augury. Harry says, open, in his Parseltongue voice, and the room transforms around him. Painted snakes emerge on the walls, and then a prophecy appears. They end up putting the prophecy together, as was told earlier. Hermione understands that Cedric is the spare in this prophecy. Ron knows that Delphi has the time turner then. Mm-hmm. And Harry understands that he is the parent that hasn't really seen his child. And I like the use of seen here. It's not physically seeing. It's that interpretation of, I don't really see you. I don't see who you really are. I don't.
Yeah, because he follows up with hasn't understood his child. It's not just I haven't seen you because you're back in time. I didn't understand you.
I always love this double meaning of the word seen. Just
Yeah.
in anything.
Yeah.
Just generally.
Double meanings of anything is fun.
This is a really cool interpretation of it that gets to the heart of the whole Harry Albus conundrum through this entire production, because I think, way back when he says that, look, James, I get. James and I are very similar. We're on the same page a lot because I see a lot of myself in him. I see a lot of my father in him. I see a lot of Sirius in him. I see a lot of similarities there. And then I think he even says at some point, like, with Lily, with his youngest.
He's like, she's easy. She just give her some sparkly fairy wings. She's good.
He's like, yeah, I get her 100%. Like, totally understand her. But he just cannot for the life of him understand Albus. So it's a very interesting interpretation of the word. Draco looks at the prophecy, looks at Hermione, Ron, and Harry doing their golden trio work, and just looks back and is like, who is this lady that has snakes on the walls?
Why is she so obsessed with all of this?
Right. Draco's like, she's psychotic. Like, what are we dealing with?
Do you think he was longing for the days where he still had Crab and Goyle as his sidekicks?
I think he's happy that he's with competent people. I think he's very happy that he's with people that can get stuff done, and it doesn't all have to be on him. That being said, I think he is a little fed up with, why am I always surrounded by this craziness?
You guys have so much drama.
And it's always snakes, and there's this hissing language. This is crazy. Ginny looks around and notices that words have revealed themselves on every wall of this auditorium, and the words say, I will rebirth the dark. Again, proper noun, capitalized. Mm-hmm. I will bring back my father. Well, that's news. Hermione looks around and is like, I'm sorry, father? How is that even possible?
And Draco's the one to speak it. Voldemort had a daughter.
Well, question mark. He's like, I'm sorry, Voldemort had a daughter?
I like that Draco's the one to say that, given how the rumors have been that he was the one who...
Well, it's an important line from Draco on a number of levels. One, yes, like you said, the rumors about him and his son are rampant. But also, of the 4 or of the 5 of them in this room right now, he's the closest one. How do you not know? Like, if anybody in this room would have had a guess as to, is this even possible or not? It'd be you, guy with the dark mark on his left arm. It'd be you, the guy that was literally in the room where most of the stuff happened.
Yeah.
How do you not know this?
Yeah.
Harry, particularly, has his mind blown. Not happy about it. Is like, no. This cannot happen. This is not good. Grasps Ginny's hand and cut to black.
I will say watching this scene in the theater is a very cool experience because, yes, it starts with the image of I will rebirth the dark, I will bring my father back on the wall of, like, on the set, on the stage, and everyone looks at it. But then it expands and it rewrites itself over and over and over, all over the auditorium, all over the theater. And you see the snakes everywhere and the projections. And it's just, it takes over and it kind of gives you the vibe of an obsessed mental patient. And it just really amplifies the creepiness of Delphi and just the obsession that she clearly has with this prophecy. So it's very effective.
I mean, this is the mic drop moment.
Yeah.
Bring my father back?
Yeah.
Not Voldy, not the Dark Lord.
Yeah.
Bring my father back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the line that just shoots shivers into all of them, including Draco. Mm-hmm. And it's just such a... For those that hadn't read this before they saw the production or hadn't known anything about this before they either read it or saw the production, that is a moment where you're like, I'm sorry, what? Like, you are just as stunned as these in-world characters are of like, how is that even possible?
Yeah. Like it does bring up a whole other can of worms where you're like, wait, okay, so Voldemort was the child of a love potion, and the rumor is because he was that, like, he can't show any love, and the idea of, okay, so he was with someone in a way to then produce a child? How? Who was the mother? When did this happen? How is this girl a secret? Like, there's so many questions that it brings up, and it's great that it's the end of the act because it allows you to sit with your thoughts and just be like, what did I just witness?
The idea that Voldy was born under the influence of a love potion, and he is, by his nature, so sociopathic that he is incapable of love. Mm-hmm. And, unfortunately, it does not require love for a child to be brought into the world. And I think the fact that we don't know at this point who the mother is, but Voldy being the father, if he's passing on his so wonderful traits, we can definitely see them in Delphi's psychotic nature a little bit.
And obsessiveness with a Potter.
And obsessiveness with two Potters. She gets double the Potter. How lucky is she? But I do like the cut to black. It's a very dramatic scene end.
Yeah.
Both now in reading this out, but also on the stage production. It's a very quick cut to black, and it really emphasizes the dread and the doom that is coming in Act 4 that we have to get to coming up.
Yeah.
So,
a lot to process.
It's a lot to process. We will pause it here, and we will be back soon with another episode to kick off Act 4. Like I said, if you have comments or thoughts on any of the scenes we've talked about today, or any of the books or any of the chapters, let us know. And you can do so by leaving a comment on any of our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube. You can leave a comment on Spotify. Any of our socials are found at HogwartsAPod. And participate in those polls as well. Those are super important. So thank you all for listening. We will be back soon with Act 4
Yay.
of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to Hogwarts, a podcast. If you like what you've heard, please click the subscribe button on your preferred podcasting app and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at HogwartsAPod.